But pushing the player away, right, gave him a clear advantage because it made him open.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not it's a foul, right, to me, if there's physical force contact, right, it's automatically a foul. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Futbol Kaki. I'm your host Helder and I'm joined by my fellow Kaki bro, Midad bro, how are you doing?
Not the best. I've been better, but not the best time for a Liverpool fan. I hate international break.
I see that because Liverpool, of course, lost to a surprising Nottingham Forest, which I was also very shocked by the result. But as you can see, I am a Man United fan. I am wearing the new jacket. Paul also has the same jacket, but we will decide when we want to wear it at the same time, depending on the thing. It may not be Liverpool confirm both of us wear, but the thing is that thing is a foul card from the past. So,
you buy it from Western?
No,
order online.
We both of us ordered online from Premier Futbol, but Western they didn't have stock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we got the Western. We got it. Both of us got it from Premier Futbol. That's very funny because we were like, Paul was like, "Hey, bro, you go check or not? They haven't give you the updated information and all this like when it's gonna get delivered everything. Because usually when you order online, right, they'll give you like invoice and they'll tell you estimated delivery date, right? Then he's like every few days he's like after 3 days he's like, hey, haven't get yet, nothing. I go call. So he go call, right? He call, right? Then after he calls, hey bro, I call already. Then suddenly both of us got your shipment is being delivered.
Oh yeah. I think sometimes, right, you gotta make noise, especially in Singapore. You have to make a bit of noise just to get the thing to be.
No, correct. But it's because like I don't want to say anything bad about that, right? But it's just that it's also because I find that the difference between like Western and Premier Futbol, because Premier Futbol only got one outlet.
Yeah, one outlet, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and their HQ is in it will be so the outlet from what I see, right, is that we got it from that one outlet, which was in Suntec.
Yeah.
So
it was good though.
If this is the thing, like this is the best piece of Man United merch I've seen in a very long time. It's a very nice jacket. They also have a t-shirt also.
Yeah, it's a nice jacket. Yeah. Oh, they have the t-shirt also.
They have a t-shirt also.
Okay. I will not be buying that. But as in, like, it looks nice lah.
No, but I think next year maybe my chance because if I'm not wrong, Liverpool also going to Adidas.
Oh, is it? Yeah, this one I don't know. But okay lah. If you go over, then I'll go and give it a look lor.
Yeah lah, because they do the vintage like lines for this year, right? I think of all the teams that have done it, right? There's Real Madrid, there's Juventus, there's Man United, right? This is the nicer jacket. Yeah, but the team is the worst of all of them.
Which one's the worst?
Man United's team is the worst. All the teams that wear Adidas.
At least you're 1-3-0, so it's like not the worst weekend, technically,
Oh, it could have been worse. We were still angry during the game.
I really want to like show a video one day, right, of our WhatsApp group when something chaotic happens, because you can see all of the text come out like the what the fuck.
No, I find that like our WhatsApp group, right, it depends on
the game,
game and who is playing. So and I can 100% say, right, that usually the one that's renting is me and Paul.
Yeah, it's only you and Paul.
Because I think you and George are more like calm in the chat when it comes to your team. But then me and Paul is literally like 90% is just me and him raging.
Yeah lah. But it's also because the performances they merit a sort of like ragey response.
Yes.
At times like
but I mean what to do. So to get on with today's episode, what we are going to talk about is of course the North London derby. The result was as expected, but I gotta say the match didn't live up to my expectations. Then of course we've also got the Liverpool shocking loss to Nottingham Forest. And then, of course, we've got our weekly segment of what's going on in the world of football. Since Paul is not here, for the time being, Midad will do the what's going on. Then, of course, we are looking forward to our match of the week, which, of course, is Manchester City versus Arsenal.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, which is, of course, Manchester City versus Arsenal, which we will talk about towards the end of the episode. So, to begin this week's episode, Midad, what's going on in the world of football?
Okay, I'm going to caveat this sort of segment from what is going on to actually what has been going on. So, what has been going on indeed? This is what Paul always says. And we're going to be looking at what the hell is going on in Arsenal. Now, recently, my friend Brian told me, bro, he says, hey, do you know that Arsenal are cursed with injuries? That there's this sort of like injury curse thing that happens at Arsenal. And then I was like, what are you talking about? He says that every time we sign a new player or we have a chance to win the league, right, someone always gets injured. And then if you recall, this season, Mikel Merino came to Arsenal and got injured the week that he was signed. Calafiori went on international break and he got injured. Now both Saka and Odegaard got injured. And then if you recall, last season, Timber snapped his ACL the first game of the season. Do you remember?
Yep.
Like the first game he got injured already lah. And then a year before that, Partey got injured and didn't play most of the season. So in that way, like there'll be 3 seasons where Arsenal were like in contention, and then they didn't win because of like some big injury happened or like and then even last year Saliba got injured towards the end of the year. Do you know what I mean? Like always something happens lah. Now, I was thinking like I don't really recall there being this injury curse in Arsenal. Do you recall this?
Have,
right? Like
have.
Okay, like it's like more of the.
I would say that it's more towards like I won't say it's injury curse in terms of like the new signings coming in and they always get injured one, right? I would say it's more to do with like when they all go down together.
Oh yeah, okay. Like it's like all in one shot, everyone gets injured lah.
Like all in one shot. I can remember there's a few seasons even with Arsene Wenger, right, where the season got derailed because Arsenal was like half the team was injured.
Yes. Okay. So now, when you're speaking of this, like the whole team getting injured and stuff like that, I then went to go and research and deep dive into like this sort of curse this Arsenal injury curse. Now I went to find that the 20 most injured players of all time, 7 of them are actually from Arsenal.
Let me guess. Wait, is Thomas Rosicky one of them?
Yes, Thomas Rosicky is number 4 on the out of all the Arsenal players. Would you like to make a guess who are the 7 players?
Okay, Smith Rowe.
No, Smith Rowe is not.
Who's here?
There's a lot. There's really a lot. And when I say them, you'll be like, oh shit, yeah, it makes sense. This person injured a lot.
Okay, were they in predominantly the Emery era, the Wenger era, or the Arteta era?
I would say that most of them are the Wenger era. And then, I mean, like some of them, they weren't injured most of the time at Arsenal. I think one player specifically lah. But most of these players, right, at Arsenal they got injured lah.
Okay, I can't. Nothing rings a bell. I cannot think of any lah. I think maybe the only one I can think of is Ozil one of them?
No, Ozil is always mostly sick but he's not.
Lacazette.
No, not Lacazette. No.
Oh, serious? Lacazette usually was injured quite frequently only.
No, not as much as I think he wasn't there as long. But there are a lot of players. Okay, so I'll just name off the list lah.
Okay.
Number 1 is Diaby, who had
that one.
Yeah, 1,747 days injured. That is like close
5
to
years.
6 years,
6 years. 6 years injury.
Yeah. Jack Wilshere, 1,470 days injured. Thomas Vermaelen, 1,366 days injured. Thomas Rosicky, 1,301 days. Oxlade-Chamberlain, 1,172 days. Most of it I feel is at Liverpool so it's quite fair. Danny Welbeck, 1,190 days. The funny thing is that he was injured at Arsenal a lot. Went to Brighton, not injured that often. I don't know what's going on. Aaron Ramsey, 1,100 days. Theo Walcott, 1,000 days. Apparently, this curse is so like evident in Arsenal, right? That they have this like graphic that maybe I'll send over to you. Is the Arsenal's most injured XI of the 21st century. I was like, what? Yeah. Like Sagna, Giroud, Senderos, Gibbs, and then like a bunch of the other players.
No, but you know the caveat between this and Manchester United or not? United, right? When recent years when United got all the injuries, right? If I'm not mistaken, United took Arsenal's medical guy that was in charge of the players when they all got injured.
Are you serious? And that's why now all of the
that's why that period, right? A lot of them got injured. Then after that, they took Arsenal's next guy who got all the players recovered.
Oh, okay.
So current one is the recent one that just joined Man United. And it was previously from Arsenal recent years. So it's like Arsenal's injury crisis they reduced quite a bit, because past few years most of the players have been fit,
Yeah, yes, most of the time lah. Yeah. That's why there's a bit of like a cursed thing, like cursed feel of it lah. But yeah, what has been going on? Hopefully, right, this sort of, especially the Saka one, when you watch the North London derby, right, when he went off, like he looked quite bad lah.
Yeah.
But if they go out, right, him and Odegaard not in the team for a while, right, I think it might affect the overall run.
But
we'll touch on the North London derby later.
Actually, why don't we just talk about the North London derby right, like now? Because since we're already talking about it, right, like I watched the game yesterday, right, and I can honestly say, it was pretty boring for the most part. Because from what I saw, like You know, certain games, right? There are certain games where like, oh, you watch the game, you cannot touch your phone, you can actually watch it, right?
Yeah.
I was on my phone majority of this game.
Oh, but it's also because we talk a lot during the chat lah.
Yeah, but it's also because sometimes I find that like you will get distracted during the game because the game is not as entertaining as what it used to be, right? And I find that Spurs were absolutely wasteful, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there were chances where they could have done something, but it just didn't avail to anything, right? And like I predicted last week that Spurs were gonna win. And by right, honestly, if you really flip it, they could have won. It's just that they were very wasteful, right? And then Arsenal just took advantage of that one time.
Yeah. I think I've said this before in a previous episode. Arsenal's best strength is really that their defense is damn good.
Yep.
Like it's just really damn locked down, especially the fact that now they got this Timber at left back and not Zinchenko or the other, I can't remember the other player's name lah. But one thing is that they can always sort of rely on the fact that we are going to lock down the game defensively and then we'll find a way to score one goal lah.
Yes.
So when you watch the game, right, Tottenham very wasteful. And I think towards the end of the game, you can tell that they were sort of like struggling for ideas. So they just kept bombing crosses into the box.
Yes.
And then this Gabriel and Saliba, they were just like, okay, just like clear and stuff like that. And I think that this Arsenal, they also made it a point to be like, okay, we're not going to really get countered. So if you look at the possession stats and also like a lot of the game, a lot of Arsenal is just sitting back deep in defending. Tottenham is just trying to like break the low block lah. Ultimately, it didn't succeed for Tottenham, but I think Arsenal, they deserve the win because I think of the fact that they locked down the defense and then they managed to squeeze one goal lah. But do you think that goal was a foul, the Gabriel one?
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
because to be honest, right, like I've seen many times whereby there's been fouls given, right, when the attacking player, right, he jumps on the shoulder, then he puts the arms up or whichever, right. But this one, right, is a push, is a shove. So if I don't know lah, the way I look at it, right, was that there's a chance that maybe Gabriel, right, with his jumping ability, he could have gotten to that ball, even if the player was on him, right. But pushing the player away, right, gave him a clear advantage because it made him open. So whether or not it's a foul, right, to me, if there's physical force contact, right, it's automatically a foul. Yeah, that is to me, right. So I would have felt that in that sort of scenario, right, VAR should have been checked. And then the goal should have been disallowed because it's still a foul. You physically push the player, right?
Yeah.
So
I think
that's what I think.
Yeah. I think the main point of contention, right, is the fact that Romero didn't sort of like make any huge complaints about it. He didn't like make a big fuss over it lah. Which I think it went to the detriment of the decision because if he really went down and then like flail or whatever, like make noise or whatever, right, then I think the referee will have to feel obligated to do some sort of a check lah, or else feel like double take his stance on the thing. Yeah. And this Gabriel, right, it really like he rose up damn high, then like just got it very clear lah. This Romero also, but I feel that in a way this Romero also didn't really recover to sort of challenge the position again lah. So I don't really have a huge issue with the goal. I don't think it's that bad because I think physicality is part of the football lah. So I guess we got differing opinions, but this Romero, if you really felt that he was maybe wrong, he would have made a more like physical gesture to showcase like, hey, why don't you go and check now? Yeah.
I think for me it's more, I don't disagree with you. That's why I always say I feel like it's differing opinion. It depends on how you see it, right? But for me, like I always return back to this lah. I've seen far less given for much more. Like if like the question becomes the flip side, if Romero had pushed Saliba in the box, would there have been a penalty?
I guess it all depends on the reaction. No? I feel because in the end, right, if you push an attacker, right, if you push a defense, how am I going to say this? Like he's pushing Saliba, right? Correct?
Yes. Okay. So if let's say
basically
taking like if his defender push attacker rather than attacker push defender. Let's say if it's flip opposite in the same box, but Romero pushed Saliba as a defending player.
But the thing is that he didn't fall. That's the issue. Yeah. If he fall, it would have been like, okay, this is may have been something lah. And I guess as a defender, right, if you're sort of pushed out of position, right, you want to sort of recover in the position. Yep. So I don't really feel that it was like a huge misnomer that okay like this Gabriel sort of like stole a goal or whatever lah. Because when you look at it as a goal itself, it was a very nice goal. It's just that this one sort of build up to the goal, it was like a scrappy situation. Yeah. So I don't really think that it was that big of a deal to me.
Yeah, I would say that it's more towards like whether or not do you as a football fan deem it as like a foul offense.
Correct.
I think that's pretty much it. Right? But other than that, generally with this game, right, it was relatively straightforward, very simple. Arsenal scored when they needed to. Spurs wasted their chances. Son, I think he was kind of like out of this game. Like he didn't really have much influence over this game, I feel.
Yeah,
Like,
to be honest,
him
team,
and Johnson didn't really have much influence.
Yeah, Solanke also didn't play well. So
No.
So everyone all in general didn't play well. Yeah. And then I gotta say, right, I do think that given the circumstance of like Odegaard and Rice not being in the lineup, they played Arsenal to come off with 3 points at the Spurs home, right? I think it's a good result. So
yeah, and I mentioned this to Paul also. I said that they don't look the same with when Odegaard and Rice are not there.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not
it's not the same. Like you can really tell, right? Like there's this lack of spark.
Yeah.
Like they're really trying to play safe. They are doing what they need to do, right? That's why it comes down to quality beats the situation also. Like it's just literally you just taking your chances. You're taking your chances, right? And Gabriel's always come up with for Arsenal from a set piece for a lot of the seasons. I don't really think that it was a result that was not deserved. I do think Arsenal should have won because they took the chances. I just think that Spurs could have gotten more of this game, but just that they didn't help themselves.
Yeah. Plus, Arsenal is really very good at set pieces. Like they are really very strong at it. Yeah. So
correct. Which is funny because like I was talking to like my my friend lah. He said that Arsenal, right, their wingers or like more like Saka, right? Like I was saying like Saka and Rashford, they have similar habits, right? But he said one point, right, is that Saka finds a way to get a foul. Or like he dribbles to try to get a foul. Because he knows that because as an Arsenal player, right, you know that if you have a set piece, you have a chance to score. Somehow it's just that type of situation.
Yeah. But I think it ended off on a bad note because Saka got taken off. If he's injured for a few games, right, especially the next game, I think it's gonna be a big issue So we'll preview that later
Correct. So moving on, from North London to Anfield, to Liverpool, to Merseyside, where Liverpool lost 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. The first goal conceded after a high of beating Man United 3-0, Liverpool lose 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, which gives Arnie Stott his first competitive loss. What's your reaction as a Liverpool fan?
Genuine reaction is that I don't think we can make any excuse of like international break. I feel that it was a very poor performance from the attackers. The main reason we lost is that we were very selfish a lot of the times. I think the final pass into like the finish, like just the final third, we didn't play well. Salah didn't play well at all. And I was very close to captaining him for FPL, because I saw that Haaland had a 25% chance he won't play. So I almost switched it and I was like, wow, hang, I put it on Haaland. Yeah. I think he was bad. I think this Szoboszlai, one of the worst games I ever seen him play because he kept giving the ball away like non-stop. And then this is the thing about football. Even it doesn't matter how much possession you have, how many shots you have. If you're wasteful and the other team makes use of the one chance that they have, right, to score a goal, that's how you lose the game, Because in the end, Nottingham, what they did was that they just countered. Callum Hudson-Odoi caught this Conor Bradley like a bit off guard, and then after that managed to like do a nice sort of like kick into the bottom right corner. So this is that in the end, right, doesn't matter how well you play the whole 70 minutes, you gotta play well the whole game. So if we wasteful our chances, we deserve to lose. So I think that overall it was one of the worst performances in terms of the attackers. I think the defenders, they did okay, except that they failed that one moment. So in the end, you gotta play the whole game. So I think it's a fair result.
Okay. I don't have much to say because I do think that other than to say that the result surprised me, and that based on statistics, right? Yeah. Based on statistics, when you have 70% possession, right? And it's not the useless possession, it's the efficient attacking style of possession like Barcelona has all this starting, right? You should be getting at least a few goals. Yeah. With the amount of dominant possession that you had. But the fact that you have 70% possession and you still lose doesn't bode well for the team. I from what I've seen, right, like what I see is that on social media they are all attacking like Arnie Stott, like, oh, you have talk about the menu tactics out loud and everything all that, right? I don't think he deserves that because honestly, it's like okay, like he lost It's one game. Every manager loses, right? It's just on the day you weren't good enough lah.
Yeah, I think like he deserves some blame for the loss because I think
Yeah.
the some of the substitutions I didn't agree with because
Yeah.
Diaz was clearly the best player in the attack. He took him off quite early and then put Gakpo on instead of taking off Salah because Salah was really poor. And then I
Yeah.
think Salah, he has this sort of habit after international break, right? He always doesn't play well. Like most of the time, like it takes a while to get the train right back running lah. Yeah, and then overall, the decisions that we made, it cost us also because Conor Bradley put him at right back, put Trent into midfield. Conor Bradley, I think he got like tricked by this Hudson-Odoi, which was a mistake. In the end, I don't really disagree with the result lah. I think Slot, he's getting flamed because of course it's always like the high of winning Man Utd. Then after that, you suddenly lose to Nottingham like that lah. But I mean, when you take this type of high profile drop, you will get this sort of criticism lah. So I guess the best way to sort of like shut up all the critics is to win games lah.
Correct, which is basically diverting back to our next segment, right? Which is of course we just got to talk about the Man U game briefly. His Dutch counterpart Eric Ten Hag, of course, Manchester United beat Southampton 3-0 at St Mary's Stadium. I do think that overall in this game, once United got their feet under them after the opening like 20 minutes, which was just terrible. It was horrible. Like we got kind of like everything going on and proper lah. I think the penalty save kind of shifted the momentum.
Bro, I say in the WhatsApp chat, right? The moment I saw the Archer walk up to the penalty spot, right, I was like, this guy is confirmed gonna miss. You look at his eyes, right? Do you think that he was like confident at all?
No.
He looked so scared, right? Like he looked like, okay, this is gonna be my first goal in the EPL. I was like, wow, this guy soft run up, like just like shoots it to the side. Onana, good save. Then I think from there on, I think 3 minutes after that, the Leeds got the first goal. And then after that, Southampton, they cannot defend anymore. They have to like sort of play a more attacking. Then that cost them lah.
I still have my gripes about the Man United, right? Although Rashford scored, right, I do think the goal was a bit lucky. The Garnacho goal was good. There was a red card, which I know some people say it's harsh, some people say it's soft. To me, is you go up, start showing high on the knee level, you're gonna get a red card anyway.
Objectively, it's a red. Yeah. I saw in real time also. I was like, I think that's a red.
Yeah. I also thought it was a red card. But I mean, at the end of the day, when we were to look at it, right, it doesn't hide the fact that there are still problems with that Man United team. Especially on the left side. So like Rashford and Dalot, they were not good for majority of this game. Even though Rashford scored, I feel Dalot was just atrocious. The lead had some sort of cramp, but I think he's good. I do think that the lead played well this game. Like he really did do well. Ugatis came on, he showed a bit of promise, right? And I do think that you see the last part when he was winning the ball, he won the ball high up the field, which he got his back. Zilsi put in a decent shift, should have scored a goal. Yeah. So for me, I don't have much to say because it's expected that Man United should win this game. I think there'll be a lot more talking points if United lost this game.
Yeah, but a win is a win lah.
A win is a win lah. A win is a win, right? Which brings us to whether a win will be, how important will the next win be? Which is of course is our match of the week. Our match of the week, which of course is Man City versus Arsenal at the Etihad. Now, just for context for everybody, right? No, Manchester City's hearing for the 115 charges starts today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I don't know what type of reaction we're going to give now because we don't know what was at the time of recording, the hearing hasn't started yet. So I would say that by the time the hearing starts and once we get more into the thing, we'll have a bit more insight into this particular matter, right? But that doesn't negate the fact that currently Manchester City are playing well.
Oh, they're playing very well. The opening goal was a bit fluky. The Brentford, the Wisa. I was like, are we playing volleyball? Or just like boing, then flying.
FIFA goal.
Yeah, FIFA goal. Yeah, super FIFA goal.
Ultimate team goal.
Foot champs goal. Really. Yeah, but this Haaland is just damn abnormal lah.
Yeah, bro.
He's really just a freak of nature. I think do you think he's gonna break his own record this season?
Okay, if he keeps up at this pace, right, and he doesn't get injured, I think yes.
Yeah, I think he might get it, yeah.
No, if whether he gets injured or not, I do feel. It's really whether or not, if he stays fit the whole season, he can break it. 100%. I do think he can break it.
Yeah. Plus that, Plus that Edison like long ball to this Haaland. Because Haaland, right, in this sort of Man City system, he doesn't really get to do all of the like breaking through the lines thing that made him famous in Dortmund, right?
Correct.
But when he did it in this game, I was like, wow, when he get in top speed, he's really damn unstoppable. Because he just power his way through the people.
No, because the reason why we all loved Haaland at the beginning, right, was because he's the type of striker whereby he's Rooney but bigger.
Oh yeah,
you get what I mean, right? Like he's a bulldozer.
Yeah, he can just bulldoze you through,
He can bulldoze you, and like he's faster. So he's got Ronaldo's pace with Rooney's like
bulldozing
power.
ability.
Rooney's bulldozing ability, but Zlatan's finishing.
Yeah, correct.
So it's
nasty.
It's like all those things combined, right? At Leipzig, at Dortmund and Leipzig, right? It was just ball to Haaland just run into it, right? But it's kind of sad because I feel that that's his strength.
Yeah.
With City style of football, right? Even though they're good and they fit him, right? It's not suited to how he plays.
Yeah, I think that it's been good for him that he learned how to be more of a poacher, how to get into positioning under this Man City for the past few years. But it's like good if they can incorporate this sort of like fast break thing for him, because he's really very, very good at it. This Paul just sent us a photo in the WhatsApp chat. You see, Edison has 4 assists and now has more than assists than Anthony. That's 3. Yeah, God, I love football memes.
It's that because like I do think that his trait, right? Which is why I was talking to my friend about this. The 115 charges, right? Whatever happens, right, will also dictate whether Haaland stays or not. Because if I'm not mistaken, right, if this goes on and it doesn't take much longer, right, he probably will go to Real Madrid. I feel. And then Real Madrid will let go Rodrigo.
That'll be a nutty team, man.
No. So, because you think about it, right? Like, I have this thing, like, just talk about Real Madrid for like short bit before you go to patience, right? Like, I have this theory. Vinicius is not getting sold because when you give the number 7 to a player at Real Madrid, right? That's the number already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Raul's number is Ronaldo's number. That's like the number at Real Madrid. Then Real Madrid just got Mbappe. So Mbappe is getting number 9. 9 is Benzema's number, 9 was Ronaldo's number. That's also another number that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Rodrigo got 11, yes. But the thing is that if the option to come in with Haaland is an option available on the table, and you can get Alphonso Davies for free next season, right? Wouldn't you do it?
As in, like, actually, if I'm Haaland, I might not. Because I feel that I don't want to play with all these like stars. I would like to compete against them, especially considering the fact that Mbappe is sort of like the counterpart that he's measured by. It'd be a bit like Messi and like Ronaldo in their prime both teaming up together, which like on paper doesn't look very nice. Do you know what I mean?
I know what it means.
Yeah, for the rivalry or for the bigger picture of football, it'll be nice that they don't play together. Yeah.
I would say so, but the thing is that the opportunity might arise, right? Because honestly, right, like if that were to happen, right, Real Madrid's answer is very simple. I let go Rodrigo. I think Haaland. Then you have Vinny on the right, Mbappe left, Haaland middle. Then your midfield is Tchouameni, Bellingham, and Valverde.
With like Endrick off the bench.
Endrick off the bench, Arda Güler off the bench.
Yeah.
Then on your back end, then you got Kamavinga. On your back end, right, your defenders is Rudiger, Militao. Like he can get. Like, basically, if he does this, right, Florentino Perez got the Galacticos at a much cheaper price.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, right? Doesn't Haaland have a release clause?
This I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
But
We'll see.
That's another thing we'll see when it comes, like, if it happens, right? So now, moving on, before we close out the episode, what are your predictions?
Oh. For Man City versus Arsenal, it is at...
Etihad.
It's at the Emirates, right? No, it's at the Etihad, correct? Okay. Looking at the list of players that are injured, Odegaard is supposed to come back early October. Calafiori and Saka is a doubtable thing, lah.
Yep.
If it was on my mind, honestly, I think that Man City would win. I would predict the results to be maybe 1-0. Actually, I feel
1-0.
Yeah. I think Arsenal's defense is really too good, lah. But as in, like, I just think that Man City, they have more depth to score 1 goal, I feel. Yeah. Because you can tell, right, when this Arsenal play without Odegaard, there's a bit of like lack of creativity. Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Fluidity.
That's right. Okay, so for me, right, I will factor in also the fact, right, that City's Champions League campaign starts this week, and they're playing Inter. So that might be a different game that they're game planning for, right? And I would say that Arsenal, right, they do have to fight defensively. However, I still do give the edge to Man City just because Martin Odegaard is not there. Because they look like against Spurs, right? They look flat.
Yeah,
in attack.
Yeah,
they look flat in attack. So whether or not they have somebody that can do that role that Odegaard does, since the fact that Smith Rowe is no longer at Arsenal anymore already. So that one, I think. So I'm probably gonna go maybe 2-1 City.
Yeah,
I would say 2-1 City is probably a good result.
Yeah, but I would not be surprised if it was a draw, like maybe like a 1-1 draw or something like that.
Yeah, I won't be surprised also, but I just do think that with Haaland's form and City's ability at the moment, right, I think they do have a bit more momentum going into this game. So before we close off, any final thoughts?
Very glad Everton lost again. My prediction of them getting relegated is coming to fruition. Another two goal lead.
I think they're going to get relegated also. Yeah. They are currently dead last.
Oh, they're getting. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. We tied with Southampton, right? With no wins at all, lost all 4 of their opening games. So with that is this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki. All right, so that is it for this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Podcast Network. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, we just want to say thank you, and we hope you continue to watch our other shows, which are, of course, the Kopi Bros, every Monday, where we talk about different topics. This week is about how to do breakups, right?
Yes. Yeah, the etiquette of breaking up.
Yeah, the etiquette of breaking up. Yes, where we talk about basically the etiquette of breaking up. Like, it's an interesting conversation. There's always differing opinions on what is the right way to do it, right? But do go to our Instagram to go and vote for your weekly tournament.
Yeah,
that's something. So I think today, by the time this episode comes out Wednesday, is the final already, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Is the final of the thing. So go and vote. And then, of course, speaking of voting, if you like voting and you want to watch a very enthusiastic and fun game show, do join us every Friday for the SG Draft Podcast, where we draft about different topics. Last week was, of course, iconic slogans.
Yeah.
To me, the most iconic slogan is, of course, just do it because it's Nike. That one you cannot fight. I think just do it. Everybody uses it.
Yeah, correct.
Either as a meme, as a phrase, as a form of motivation, everybody uses just do it. Of course, with this SG Draft game show, right, you do have an interactive portion where you can, of course, vote for your favorite team. Voting begins, of course, every Friday 12 p.m. and, of course, closes on a Saturday at 12 p.m. So with that, we just want to say thank you for watching this week's episode of the Futbol Kaki. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so. And if you have, please share this channel with your friends so that you can grow more content for you guys and put out more content for you. So from me, Amelia, and from everybody here at the Futbol Kaki and the Chit Podcast Network, have a great week ahead. Glory, Man United. I hope that Arsenal and City have some injuries on Sunday. But never mind. I will keep the fun thing ahead. So have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Enjoy Champions League. Bye-bye.